Alright, so welcome to another video, guys, and today we're gonna check out the Hidizs, and this is the MS2. So from that packing, this is one of the things that you like me to check out first, and this is a hybrid configuration, and you have Knowles drivers here, and around $80 as well. So falls right smack with your KBR Diamonds, Blonde Prometheuses, and also the Aria as well. So we're gonna try to compare it to that IEMs, and is this one of our top recommendations in this channel? We're gonna find out in this video. Of course, big thanks to Hidizs themselves for sending this over. Links down below for their shop. So it has some hybrid dual hi-fi earphones, Knowles drivers as well. You have Hidizs, and from the get-go, it's not that big of an IEM as well. Dynamic driver and 10mm dual voice coils. So Hidizs developed composite diaphragm. You have 20 to 40 kHz in frequency range, and OFC cables as well. So this is your unboxing experience, and look at this, guys. That looks really cool. Relish music beauty in the details. I'm opening it up. So inside you're getting a case here. Wow, that looks cool. This is a nice looking case. Minimalist in design. You have a Hidizs at the back. One of the better looking cases for me. And you are getting maybe a beige-ish off-white looking cable. So you have a straight plug at the top, and also looks like it's gonna be gold plated here. And the cable, actually it feels good in the hand. It's quite silky. It's not the thickest cable, but yeah, the cable feels still good in the hand for me. Just looking at the IEM itself, so it's actually quite cool for me. You have that pearlescent design to it, so it's not that big of an IEM. And actually the shape for me is quite safe here. It has maybe some small fins here, but not that big. So this might be still a bit more stable compared to your usual safer shapes. So in terms of the size, maybe this reminds me of the Shanling ME80 in a way. So it's made of mostly plastic, but a good quality plastic here. So this is what it looks like. You put cables in, you have the pearl sides, and also silky cable as well. So yeah, the color scheme, I would say it's nice on this. So I would say yeah, it looks more of scale here. I like the overall build quality in this. This is more of a blingy kind of design. So this is what it's gonna look like on the ears. It's not that big of an IEM. So it fits really nicely on the ear. So stability is really good on this because of that. Maybe small fins, this stays on the ear really nicely. Comfort is really good as well. So it's not that big of an IEM. So it's quite breathable on the ear. Also, isolation is actually above average as well. So it blocks out most of the noise. So yeah, in terms of the build quality, I don't have any major issues on this. This is a nicely built IEM for me. Alright, so now we're gonna listen to some tunes with our Hidizs R3. And actually thought of using the Hidizs AP80 Pro, but just for the sake of consistency, we're gonna use the DAP that we always use here in this channel. Alright, so firstly, the bass is really prominent here in the mix. So it's big, maybe it reminds me of a TFZ kind of bass, but I would say not overly boomy here. Still has some speed to it. Yeah, this is a musical type of listen to the ear. And also the sound stage is really big on this. I'd say one of the bigger ones in that price range that I've listened to. So I'm seeing that despite have some 12K at the top, maybe 8K elevation as well. So this is good sounding. So this is a very 2021 signature. And yet the vocal is more of a bright vocal to the ear. It's really revealing here. But what I like about the vocal here, it's not overly aggressive to listen to. It's revealing, but not sibilant to listen to. Let's try some You Not Me Dream Theater. So the sound stage is more of width than height for me. So it's quite wide to listen to. So separation, even if it has big bass at the bottom, it's still quite good for me because of the bigger stage. So it's quite easy to pinpoint the instruments here. But yeah, one downside here is even if the vocal is in the more revealing side, the vocal is not the thickest, fullest vocal that I've heard. So this is more in the clean side of things. But I would say it's not overly clean. So it's not as clean as your monitor type of listens to the ear. So this still has some smoothness to it. So it's kind of like in the middle. So I would say in terms of the body, it's not lacking, but it's not the fullest body that I've heard. So your Moondrops, your dynamic driver counterparts will still have fuller body compared to this one. In terms of micro detail, it's quite good as well. So there's some micro detail here. So yeah, because of that PA, but I would say, the fastest that I've heard, your multi-driver counterparts, we still have more detail compared to this. Let's try some Let's Groove Earth, Wind and Fire. So there's definitely that shimmer on top here. So there's ample extension on top. And firstly, in terms of the tonality, I'm lacking the tonality overall. So even on top, it's quite natural to listen to. But yes, this has some peaks on top, and one downside of that is This has some thinness on top for me in the cymbals, but I would say not that bad. It's there, but not that bad. Again, maybe it reminds me of the TC01. The TC01, has still that peaks on top, but it's not that thin to listen to. Take for example, in the upper right here, the shaker. So there's some slight thinness there, but not that bad body overall. In terms of the listen, this is kind of a TC01, but a bit more relaxed than a TC01. Your TC01 will be more aggressive. Will have more hotness for me. Will be more fatiguing to listen to. This will be slightly relaxed on the mix. Something that you can listen to for a long listening session, more so compared to the TC01. Maybe in terms of the tuning, this reminds me of the Tin T4 in a way. This is a bit more relaxed than the Tin T4 for me. The bass here is also less pronounced than the Tin T4. Let's try some jumping in, dream theater, some guitar tracks. So yeah, I would say one of the bigger ones that I've listened to in that price range. The bass is prominent in the mix, but I would say not overly done. And there's ample detail and body as well in the guitars. It doesn't sound thin. So it's still not the fullest bodied guitars that I've listened to, but it's still quite good. It's not thin for me. Right in the middle, which is something that I really like. So in terms of my overall listen so far, I think this punches above its weight in the sound quality, and the tuning is quite good for me, especially if you're into an engaging, fun type of listen. Let's try to measure this up and give you guys more impressions in the sound. First, we now did some measurements on the MS2, and it's a really nice tuning here. So maybe it reminds me of the NF2 from NF Audio in a way, also the heart mirror as well, or maybe the Tin T3 as well. So the bass is not that elevated in the measurement, and it's a pretty flat bass as well. It has some double horns at the top here, so very unique signature in this price range, which is very impressive. So from the bass region, you're getting pretty level rise. I'm going to around 600 hertz region. So fairly flat bass here, but still, even if it measures like this, the bass is still prominent in the mix. But again, not overly done. So this is a very nice bass measurement here. And then after that, it goes slightly down to around 1K, but very slight. And then it goes up to around 3K. And then after 3K, you go up with a slight peak at around 4 to 5K here. And then after that, it goes down to around 7K. And then after that, it goes up to your 12K peak. But as you can notice here, the peaks is not that prominent in the mix. So you have your 12K, but it's not super peaky to listen to. So still for me, this more for bright neutral type of signature to the ear. So let's compare it first to the NF Audio NF2, because as I mentioned, so the sound here maybe reminds me of more expensive pairs. So it punches above its weight in the sound. So comparing to the NF2, which is maybe 2 times the price, it has a lot of similarities here. Similar 12K, similar bass response, but your NF Audio has a bit more recessed mids, and also more pronounced 4 to 5K here. But very similar peaks here. So again, really impressive for the price that you're paying for. So comparing it to the heart mirror, so they do have again some similarities in the bass region. But if you look at the mids region of the heart mirror, your mids will be slightly elevated there. But your 4 to 5K is similar here, but your 12K is more toned down in the MS2. So a lot of similarities here between these two. But here in this comparison, I do like that your 12K is less pronounced in the mix, and your tuning as well is a bit more neutral to the ear. Alright, so comparing it to the Moondrop Aria, and also we're gonna compare the sound quality now. So first, going to the measurements, the Aria will have more bass in the measurements. Also in the Aria as well, you have less 10K but more 12K in the Aria as well. But yeah, your Aria will have a more of a warm, neutral sound on the ear here. So yes, comparing this to the Aria is definitely warmer to the ear, a bit more smoother sound as well. A bit more relaxed sound as well in the Aria. The vocals is more lush as well in the Aria overall. So definitely for vocals, your Moondrops is really nice. So compared to the MS2, the micro detail for me is more pronounced in the MS2. Better separation in the MS2. The stage is bigger for me in the MS2. Cleaner sound and a bit more monitor presentation in the MS2, more so compared to the Aria. It's tighter, faster, and the technicalities for me are slightly better in the MS2. So alright, this will be a toss up for me between these two. Both are for me right up there as the best in the price range. Both are top 5 contenders. So if you like a smoother sound, more warmth, more lush vocal, go for the Aria. If you like a tighter sound, a more micro detail, more BA type of presentation, and a bit better technicalities as well. You might like the MS2. So here in this comparison, you guys know I love my Moondrops, and I also like the Aria as well. But in this comparison, I actually like the MS2 more. So for the price that you're paying for, you're getting slightly better micro detail and technicalities as well, and more toned down bass in the mix, more controlled bass in the mix. So very impressive for the MS2. I kind of like it more than the Aria in my personal preference. But frankly, for me, either of these, you won't go wrong with either. They're really great for the price that you're paying for. Compared to the CCA CKX, the CKX is more V-shaped to listen to. The bass is more prominent as well, so the CKX is a bit more fun to listen to. A little bit better micro detail there. A little bit more aggressive sound as well in the CKX. So the presentation is a bit more upfront. The cleanliness in the CKX is more of a monitor type of sound as well. So the MS2 in comparison has better tonality for me, a touch smoother sound as well, better top end, fuller vocal, and less peaky to listen to, more natural presentation to the ear as well. So alright, so overall the CKX is my favorite CCA. Compared to the MS2, the MS2 for me is a different monster here. So for my personal preference, I still like the MS2 more. More natural presentation to the ear, better tuned for me, and better top end as well. So compared to the Tin T3, their launch price is very similar here, around $80. For a lot of people, this will be the similar comparison here. So yeah, compared to the Aria and the CKX, the Tin T3 for me is the closest to the MS2 in this comparison. So the Tin T3 for me is more relaxed to the ear, a touch cleaner to listen to as well. Less prominent bass in the mix in the Tin T3. The Tin T3 for me is more of a monitor type of listen, a lot cleaner in the overall listen, less fun to listen to. So the MS2 in comparison has a touch more fun than the Tin T3. So the stage for me is bigger in the MS2, bass is more prominent and bigger as well in the mix. So the weight for me in the bass in the MS2 is better for me, which is something that I prefer personally. Separation is very similar, but because of the bigger stage in the MS2, I might give an edge to the MS2, but they're very close here. The MS2 as well is a touch fuller in presentation as well in the vocal region, but not that far off. The MS2 is more fun to listen to on the ear. So here in this comparison, they're not that far off on the ear. They're actually quite close. If you like a touch cleaner sound, tighter as well, and less bass prominence, you might like the Tin T3. If you like a touch more fun, smoother sound, bigger stage, you might like the MS2. So for me, in this comparison, the Tin T3 is still one of our favorites in the price range. But actually in this comparison, I actually prefer the MS2 over the Tin T3. I like the fuller vocal, a more prominent bass weight, and also more lively sound as well. And yes, a touch smoother sound overall. A bit more fun to listen to, but still, really controlled kind of sound. So the MS2 for me over the Tin T3 is my preference. Alright, so let's try to close this thing. So for the Hidizs MS2, I think you can see it from the title that I really like this IEM. So for under $100, this is my favorite 2-driver hybrid. So I really like the tuning on this. The technicalities are great for the price that you're paying for. Tonality is great for me, and also you're getting still prominent bass at the bottom. So the bass in the bottom is not lacking at all in this regard. So definitely if you're looking for a hybrid sound, and if you're okay with my personal preference, this should be in your short list. So some cons here for me, so still you have that 12K on top. So not everybody might like a 12K peak on top. And also another con is you still have some peaks on top. So it's still not the fullest, bodied cymbals that I've listened to. And also you still have a BA here. So for people who doesn't like a BA type of sound, you might like a dynamic driver IEM over this. You might like the Aria over this. So that is the cons that I can think of that will deter people from getting this. But otherwise, if you're okay with that cons, this is for me the best 2-driver hybrid that I've listened to in the $100 range, and top 5 contender as well. So that's my look with the Hidizs MS2. So really great on this, because it's my first time checking a Hidizs, and I don't know what to expect, but really surprising to check this out. So this is a really good first try for me, and I'm looking forward to more IEMs from Hidizs if this is how they tune their stuff. So of course, I'm gonna do a sound test of this and compare this to other $100 IEMs. If you have some requests on the IEMs that I should compare this to in the sound test shootout, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next zpolt review. Goodbye.